Hi friends! Today we are going to be using our book called The Way I Feel to help us figure out where some letters are in our story. So make sure you have your book ready to go. If you don't have it, pause your video and go get it. Do you have your book? Thumbs up, ready. Great. Okay, we have talked about all the different parts of our book. We have to learn some new words that tell us about our feelings or our emotions. We found some rhyming words in our story, and today we are going to be looking for some letters in our story. Letters make up words, and words make up what our story is all about. So, take your book and carefully open up and look inside until you find the page that looks like this. You might have to turn almost to the end of the story to find it. When you have found your story spot that we're looking for, touch your head. Awesome. Okay, let's look at what this page says. When we're trying to figure out what are the words, we need to find them first. Are the words on this side? No, you found the words on this side. Let's see what they say. Take your finger and touch the first word in the sentence. We start on this side and read this way. It says, I did it, I did it. I shout to the crowd. Getting dressed by myself makes me feel proud. So you have found the word proud. Have you heard that word before? I know sometimes parents and teachers will let you know that they are proud of you when you have done something all by yourself or when you've done a good job. In this story, this friend got dressed all by himself or herself. They didn't need any help from anybody else. They did it independently, and that made them feel proud of themselves. They worked hard and they were able to do it all by themselves. So today, we are gonna find out what letters are in the word proud. So, I want you to take your wiggle finger and scoot it on over to the start of the word proud. There's a letter right here. Can you touch it with your finger? What letter do you see? Listen. P, p. That's the sound we hear at the beginning of p, proud. What letter makes that sound? P, you're right. The next letter is the letter R. Do you remember what sound R makes? R. Good job. Now the next ones are kind of hard. If you don't remember, listen carefully. O makes the A. U makes the A. And D, proud D, makes the D sound. Let's see if we can write the word proud on our board. You can use paper, you can use your own whiteboard, or if you don't have those things, you can just pretend to write it in the air with your finger. All right, the first letter in our word proud is P. Let's practice writing it together. We made the letter P. Now, use your eyes and look at your book and see if you can find the next letter. Do you remember what it is? It makes the R sound. I'll give you a hint. It's right here. Right, the next letter is R. What comes after R? O. What letter is next to O? Look at your book if you don't remember. O, U. Good job. And the last letter in proud makes the D sound. Right, D. You made the word proud. In our story, we learned a lot of different emotions. We talked about happy, we talked about sad. If you read the story with your family, you heard other emotions like frustrated or mad, disappointed or jealous. We also talked about being proud, and I am so proud of you for all your hard work that you did during our literacy time together this week. I challenge you at home to write or draw a picture of what it looks like when you feel proud of yourself. Do you stand tall when you dress yourself all by yourself? Do you feel proud when you work really hard at something like building a tower or cleaning up all your toys by yourself? Think about times that you have felt proud of yourself and draw a picture underneath your word. The letter M. M makes the sound. M is for mushroom. Hi pre-K friends, Miss Whitehurst here. Today's letter that we're going to work on writing is this letter. Are you ready? Do you recognize that letter? Exactly, this is the letter M. What sound does the letter M make? I wonder if there's somebody who could help us remember the sound. Do you recognize that animal? That's a mouse, and her name is Missy. I wonder what sound we hear at the beginning of Missy Mouse. You're right, we hear the sound. Missy Mouse helps us remember that the letter M makes the sound. Do you see what happens when I make the sound? My lips go together, and I can pretend like I'm eating something really yummy. So Missy Mouse loves to eat cheese. What do you like to eat? I like to eat chocolate and apples, and I like cheese too. Let's pretend like we're eating our favorite food while we make the sound that M says. Thanks for practicing with me. Now we are going to get to write an uppercase M and a lowercase m. Let's start with the uppercase M. When I'm writing letters, I like to pick a marker or a crayon or a pencil to practice. You can use whatever you have at home to help you practice writing too. I'm going to start with my blue marker, and we decided we were going to write an uppercase M first. Now look at this M. Does it have any curvy lines or any straight lines? You're right, it has straight lines. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4 straight lines. Let's see if we can practice writing the uppercase M using our straight lines. When we're writing letters, we start at the top and work our way down. So if I want to write an uppercase M, I'm going to start at the top of my paper, and I'm going to do one big line down, slant to the bottom, slant to the top, another big line down. And I have written an uppercase M. Now we also have a lowercase m that makes the same sound. Does this letter have all straight lines? No, it has some curvy lines too. Let's practice writing our lowercase m together. To make our lowercase m, we do a straight line down, hump, and hump. And we've made our lowercase m. Now, these letters look different, but they make the same sound. What sound do they make again? Right. Do you think we can write our M's in another color? I have two colors that I'm going to choose from. Should I do purple or red? I think I'm going to do purple, but you can pick whatever color you would like to use at home. When I write my uppercase M, where do I start? Right, at the top. Okay. We do a big line down, slant to the bottom, slant to the top, big line down. Wow, I made this uppercase M even bigger than my first one. All right, let's write our lowercase m together. Straight line down, hump, hump, I wonder if we can count how many M's we have all together. Let's start on the left side and go across our row. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's practice circling our lowercase m together. I'm going to pick a new color to help me find my lowercase m. I chose the color red. What color did you choose? Okay, I'm looking for my lowercase m. It looks like this. It has a straight line down and 2 humps. Do those look the same? No. What about this row? Yes, we found our lowercase m's. I'm going to draw a circle around my blue m. Do I have another lowercase m? You're right, I have one more. Let's count how many lowercase m's we have. 1, 2. I loved practicing writing with you today. Thank you for your hard work, and I'll see you next time. Hi pre-K friends. So I wanted to teach you a game that's all about matching letters, and it's called Letter, Letter, Can You Find the Letter? So I have a tool that I'm going to use to help me play this game. If you have this tool at home, you might want to use it. If you don't have this tool, you can make your own. You can use your imagination. But the tool that I have is called a magnifying glass. And I use this tool when I want to investigate something or learn more about something. It helps me see things bigger than they actually are. So I could use it to look at something really small or to help me find something because it would make it bigger and easier for me to see. So this game is called Letter, Letter, Can You Find the Letter? And I'm going to show you a letter in a minute, and then we're going to investigate and see if we can find its match on our board. Okay? So first, let's look at all the letters we have on this board because there's a lot of them. So I'm going to say, let's look at this letter first. What letter do you see? Yes, that's the letter S. What sound does the letter S make? It goes S. The next letter is the letter R. Can you think about what sound the letter R makes? Exactly. I put my paws up like a rabbit. That helps me remember that sound. All right, let's see. I'm looking. Ooh, what about this letter? Yes, that's the letter A. What sound does A make? Oh, we got to get our big alligator chomping arms and go, ah, ah, ah. Awesome. All right, let's see. Ooh, what about this letter? You're right, that's the letter E. I wonder what sound E makes. I remember Ellie elephant goes with the letter E, and elephants have a big trunk that goes back and forth, and it says eh, eh, eh. The letter E makes that sound. What letter do you see here? B. B makes this sound b, 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 like Bubba Bear. He's reaching for his honey, and he makes the b, b sound. The last letter we have on our board has 2 humps. It's the letter M, and it makes the sound. Your lips go together, and it's like you're tasting something so yummy, and you go, Awesome. All right, are we ready to investigate and see if we can find all of these letters matches? Let's look. All right, the first one. What animal do you see with that letter? You're right. Let me investigate and see. It's an alligator. What letter does alligator begin with? Alligator begins with A. We found its match. Way to go, friends. All right, let's see what letter's next. What letter do you see? R for rabbit. Awesome. Let me investigate. And let's see. Can you investigate at home? Use whatever tool you found. We're looking for the letter R. Do you see a lowercase r on our board? You found it. We can match our R's. Great. What letter is next? B for Bubba Bear. B. Do you see a lowercase b on our board? Where is it? Did I find it yet? No? Am I getting closer? I found it. You found B. All right. Let's see. S. Awesome. The next one is E. E. And our last one, M. You found all the pairs. Way to go. I loved investigating and matching letters with you today.
Let's head to the farm and do some counting. There's a field of cows. How many do you see? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 cows. Let's try another one. How many chickens do you see? Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 chickens. Let's do one more. How many pigs are there? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 pigs. What group of animals had the most? Did you say chickens? There were 6 chickens. 6 is more than 5 or 4. What group of animals had the least? Did you say 4? 4 is less than 5 or 6. It's fun counting animals on the farm.
Hi friends! In our previous lesson, we were counting our counting bears. Today's lesson, we are going to be comparing our bears that we found in our cave. Now, when I looked this morning in the cave, there were a new set of bears there. And we're going to also compare these by the color. The materials you would need would be your counting bears, or you can always go back to your Fruit Loop cereal or any other actual things that you have at home. I have a mat here that I'm going to use, and I'm going to sort them out like we did earlier on. And then I'm going to compare them using this ice tray, so you can use an ice tray as well. So we're going to go ahead on and sort them by color. You're familiar with this, so we can quickly sort our bears by color. And I have 4 bears here. I'm going to put the blue. I have 2. Then my green. I have 3. And then finally I have 1 red bear. So I've sorted these by color. We did that earlier. So I can now move my tray out of the way. And now I have this ice tray. With this ice tray, I'm going to use this to be able to compare the different colors and then compare the sets. I'm going to just choose any 2 to compare because I have 2 areas that I can use. So the first one I'm going to do is blue. I'm going to take all of my blue bears and place them into the ice tray, into the little holes here. And I have 1, 2. Now, my question is do the blue set of bears have more than the red set? I can put it here and I can look. I have 1 here and I have 1, 2. The blue has more than the red, and the red is less than the blue. And I can prove it by looking at this. Let's try another one. Which set has more? Which set do you think has more? Which color? When I'm looking at it, I think it's the yellow that has more. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to put these in my housing. And I was counting actually in my head when I did it. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I want to see if the green, because it looks kind of close, maybe the green has more than the yellow. Let's see. I think the yellow has more than the green because I can look and see it here. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 4. I can look here and see. So I'm comparing my sets doing this. I'm gonna put them back onto the mat. This is easier for me because they're already sorted out. Now, you can use your ice tray along with your counting bears or even some Fruit Loops to be able to do it. So I have some Fruit Loops, I want to show you just in case. I'm going to take these counting bears and place them right over here. So in case you have Fruit Loops at home, you can again just choose 4 colors, which we have here. We have the blue, yellow, just get a handful, red, and then I need green. Okay, so I have my Fruit Loops here and I want to be able to compare them. Well, when I'm looking, I notice that the blue and the red have the same amount, but I want to prove it. Do they have the same amount? Let me try it. I'm going to take the blue, put it in, and the red and put it in. And I can see that it has the same amount. So you can try this at home and be able to use either your counting bears or your Fruit Loop cereal or any other colorful items that you have if you want to be able to sort by color and compare. Now I'm going to show you a cool way that you can be able to answer questions using something called a graph. Now we're going to take these very same counting bears that we had and be able to graph the data based on the counting bears. It's just an easier way to be able to see it and be able to answer questions. So I know I have 1, 2, 3, 4 yellow bears, 1, 2, 3 green, 1 red, and 2 blue. And so that I don't have to sit and just count all of them or do the ice tray method to be able to compare them, I can put all my data into a graph and it'll be an easier way for me to understand it. Come on with me and I'm going to show you how to graph the data. Hi boys and girls, we're going to use this graph that I've created to be able to show the data for the bears that we found in our cave. So the bears have come out of the cave and they're up here at the top of our graph. And at the top of your graph, it has graphing bear colors because a graph always needs to have a title. And then if you follow me on the sides, I have numbers. I've numbered it only from 1, 2, 3, and 4. But you can number your graph all the way up to 10 or even more, depending on how much data you have or information you want to show. At the bottom of the graph, I have colors. So I have the colors that represent the colors of the counting bears. We have green, yellow, red, and blue. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put the bears in the graph to help us show the data from our counting bears. I see that I have green here, so I'm going to go ahead and start with the green bears. I'm going to move them down. So I put 1 bear here. The next bear goes into where the number 2 is located, and the next bear goes into number 3. Now, I've put the green bears in this graph. Looking at it, I can automatically go count them because it's lined up here with the 3. So my next color I have at the bottom is yellow. So I'm going to move my yellow bears down. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I have 4 yellow bears. And I don't even have to count them. It's sort of somewhat like supersizing. I can look at it and just know that it's 4, but in my graph, it's a quick way to be able to see. I go at the top of where my bears stop. I look over and it's 4. I know I have 4 yellow bears. The next one I have is red. So I'm going to put the red bear here. And there's only one red bear. I can look over at the number 1, go across, and I see that I have 1 red bear. And now my last color is blue. I'm going to move my blue bear down. And that's 1, 2 blue bears. I can go across from my graph and I can see that I have 2. Now looking at the data here, I can use this graph to help me see and answer questions. So, and I can do it quickly too, because I have this graph here. That's the cool and neat thing about a graph. So if you say, Mrs. Jefferson, which bear has the least amount? I can quickly look and see that the red bear has the least amount because it only has 1 here, and that's the number 1, and it's a shorter than these other ones here. If you look across, it's lower here. Now I can look at the graph and say, which one has the most bears? Well, going up my graph, I look and see that the yellow has the most. Now, if I wanted to say, are any of them the same, have the same amount of bears or equal amount of bears? I can go across and look and see that I don't have any that have the same or equal amount of bears like we talked about in our previous lessons. So you guys, being able to use a graph to help you look at data, which is information that you've collected. This is the end of our Counting Bear series. I hope you really enjoyed the lesson and being able to go on a scavenger hunt to look in caves and find our bears. During our lesson, we were able to sort our bears by color, and we also had our Fruit Loops if you don't have the counting bears. We were able to sort our bears by size. We talked about small, medium being in the middle, and big. We counted our bears. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and so on. And then our last thing that we did, we were able to compare our bears using our ice tray. And then last, we used the graph to show the data and show how our bears were by color. And that's just a faster way to do it. So hopefully you enjoyed the lesson, like I said, and I will see you the next time.
The grocery store is a great place to practice our counting. Like with these apples. How many do you see? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 apples. Let's try another one. Here's a dozen eggs. Do you know how many are in a dozen? Let's count and see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There are 12 eggs in a dozen. Let's do one more. How many sausages are there in this pack? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 sausages in this pack. What was the largest number of items we counted from our groceries? Did you say the eggs? We counted 12, or a dozen eggs. 12 is more than 6 or 5. Which group had less, apples or sausages? Did you say the sausages? 5 is less than 6. Helping with the groceries is a fun way to practice counting.
Hi friends, it's Miss Lose, a teacher for Early Learning Preschool. This week, Miss Whitehurst reviews some letters and sounds with you. For our activity, we're going to review those letters and sounds. Then we're going to use different body parts to write those letters. And we're going to demonstrate balancing skills. Let's go over and wiggle the body parts we're going to use. Our first body part is our index fingers. Can you wiggle them? Our next body part is our elbows. Our next body part is going to be our knees. And our last one is our feet. This activity requires some balancing, so make sure you have some space to move. And if you need to, stand next to something you can hold on to, like the wall or a chair. Stand up and listen and watch for the first letter. Our first letter is the letter A. Hold up your index finger. Start your letter at the top. Big slant down, and across. Let's use our other index finger. Start your letter at the top. Big slant down, and across. Now let's use our elbow. Start your letter at the top. Try your other elbow. Big slant down, and across. Lift up your knee. Find your balance. Big slant down, and across. Let's try the other knee. Big slant down, and across. That's tricky. Let's try our foot. Point your toe. Big slant down, and across. Now try your other foot. Point your toe. Big slant down, and across. What sound does A make? Ah, ah. Our next letter is the letter B. Get your index finger. Big line down. Go back up to the top. Little curve, Try it with your other finger. Big line down. Go back up to the top. Little curve, Now let's try it with our elbow. Big line down. Go back up to the top. Little curve, Try it again. Now try it with your knee. Find your balance. Big line down, little curve, Use your other knee. Start at the top. Big line down, little curve, That was tricky. Let's use our foot. Big line down, little curve, Try it with your other foot. Start at the top. Big line down, little curve, Now what does B say? Buh. Our next letter is the letter E. Get your index finger. Big line down, line across at the top, line across in the middle, line across at the bottom. Let's try it with our other finger. Big line down, line across at the top, line across at the middle, line across at the bottom. Let's try it with our elbow. Start at the top, big line down, line across at the top, line across in the middle, line across at the bottom. Try your other elbow. Let's use our knee. Big line down, line across at the top, line across in the middle, line across at the bottom. Try it with your other knee. That's tricky. Let's use our foot now. Point your toes. Big line down, line across at the top, line across in the middle, line across at the bottom. Try your other foot. Point your toes. Sound does E make? Eh, eh. Our next letter is the letter M. Get your index finger, big line down, go back up to the top, slant line, big line down. Try it with your other finger. Big line down, slant line up, big line down. Try it with your elbow. Big line down, go back up to the top, slant line, big line down. Switch elbows. Let's try it with our knee. Get your balance. Big line down, go back up to the top, slant line, big line down. Try it with your other knee. Big line down, slant line up, big line down. Try it with your foot. Point your toes. Big line down, go back up to the top, slant line, big line down. Don't forget to point your toes. Big line down, slant line, big line down. And M says, Our next letter is the letter R. Get your index finger, start your letter at the top. Big line down, then a little curve, and then a little slant to the bottom. Try it again. Big line down, a little curve to the middle, little slant to the bottom. Try it with your elbow. Big line down, a little curve to the middle, little slant to the bottom. Let's try it with our knee. Big line down, little curve, little slant to the bottom. Big line down, little curve to the middle, little slant to the bottom. Try it with your foot. Point your toes. Big line down, little curve to the middle, little slant to the bottom. Big line down, little curve to the middle, little slant to the bottom. What sound does R make? Er. Our last letter is the letter S. Get your index finger, start right. Little C, curve right, then curve left like a snake. Little C, curve right, curve left like a snake. Try it with your elbow. Little C, curve right, curve left like a snake. Try it with your knee. Little C, curve left like a snake. Little C, curve right, curve left like a snake. Let's do it with our foot. Point your toes, find your balance. Start at the top. Little C, curve right, curve left like a snake. Curve right, curve left like a snake. That one was tricky. What does S say?
Wow, that was some tricky balancing we had to do. Can you think of any other body parts you can use to write with? Keep practicing writing. See you next time.